Welcome to Mysteries and Crime, your go-to channel for exploring the most captivating and perplexing true crime stories. If you love unraveling mysteries and piecing together the puzzles of history's most chilling cases, you're in the right place. Before we dive into today's story, a quick reminder: hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to share your thoughts or case suggestions in the comments. Every story we share is carefully researched to honor the victims and shed light on the darkest corners of humanity. February 2009 will forever be etched into the memory of Albuquerque residents as the month when a chilling discovery changed the city forever. Christine Ross, a local woman, was walking her dog along the dusty West Mesa when she noticed something protruding from the sand. At first, she thought it might be a large bone from an animal, but as she got closer, the shape and size told a different story. It was a human femur. Alarmed, she contacted the authorities, setting into motion an investigation that would reveal the horrors hidden beneath the surface. The barren desert, once thought of as a forgotten patch of land, became the site of one of New Mexico's most infamous cases, the West Mesa Murders. The investigation began with cautious optimism. Forensic teams arrived at the scene, hoping to determine if this was an isolated incident or part of a larger story. As they began their work, it quickly became evident that the latter was true. Beneath the sand lay a mass grave, holding the remains of not one, but 11 women and one unborn child. Each grave unearthed revealed another tragedy, a life cut short. The victims had been buried in shallow graves spread across a 92-acre area. Detectives faced the painstaking task of recovering the remains while preserving every fragment of evidence. For the families of missing women, the discovery brought a mixture of emotions: relief at finally having answers, and grief at the confirmation of their worst fears. Identifying the victims was a monumental challenge. Most of the remains were skeletal, having been exposed to years of harsh desert conditions. Forensic anthropologists relied on advanced techniques to match dental records, DNA, and personal artifacts to missing persons reports. Slowly, names began to emerge, bringing faces and stories to the skeletal remains. Among the victims were young women, some barely out of their teens. 15-year-old Jamie Barella and her cousin Evelyn Salazar were last seen together in 2004. Michelle Valdez, who was pregnant at the time of her disappearance, had been missing for several years. Each victim was more than just a name. They were daughters, sisters, friends, and mothers whose lives were tragically cut short. The discovery of the West Mesa burial site shocked the nation, but it also shone a light on systemic issues. Many of the victims had been involved in sex work or struggled with addiction, making them vulnerable to predators. Their disappearances, in some cases, had not been given the urgency they deserved. This oversight allowed the killer to continue undetected, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. Community advocates pointed to the need for systemic changes, including better protections for at-risk women and more robust missing persons investigations. Their calls for action sparked conversations about the societal factors that contribute to such tragedies. Advances in forensic science have reignited hope for solving the West Mesa case. Tools like genetic genealogy, which have been instrumental in solving decades-old cold cases, offer new possibilities for identifying the killer. Even degraded DNA samples that were once unusable can now be analyzed with cutting-edge techniques. These tools have transformed how investigators approach cases, turning even the smallest traces of evidence into potential breakthroughs. Geospatial analysis is another tool investigators have used to study the burial site. By examining the layout and patterns of the graves, experts hope to uncover clues about the killer's behavior, methods, and choices. Could these advancements finally unlock the secrets of the West Mesa? Theories about the identity of the West Mesa killer abound. One popular theory suggests that the killer was a truck driver who traveled across state lines, targeting vulnerable women along major highways. This theory is supported by similar cases reported in other states, pointing to a potential pattern. Another theory suggests that the killer was a local, someone deeply familiar with the West Mesa and its potential as a hiding place. This theory gained traction when detectives investigated Lorenzo Montoya, a man with a history of violence against women. Although Montoya was killed in 2006 during an altercation, his proximity to the burial site raised questions about his potential involvement. For the families of the victims, the West Mesa case remains a painful reminder of lives lost too soon. Each year, they gather at the site to hold vigils, leaving flowers, photos, and mementos at the memorial garden created in honor of the victims. This space, once a barren desert, now serves as a symbol of remembrance and resilience. Community leaders continue to advocate for justice, pushing for renewed efforts to solve the case. Their voices remind the world that these women mattered and their stories deserve to be told. The West Mesa Murders are more than a mystery. They are a call to action to protect the vulnerable and demand accountability. Thank you for joining us on this journey into one of the most haunting, unsolved cases in modern history. The West Mesa Murders serve as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of community in seeking justice. But the questions remain. Who was the West Mesa killer? Could they still be at large? And could modern forensic tools finally unravel this mystery? The desert of Albuquerque carries an eerie stillness, one that seemed unremarkable until 2009. The West Mesa, with its sprawling barren land, was once destined for housing developments that never materialized. Instead, the area became an abandoned expanse, a silent witness to crimes hidden beneath the shifting sands. Christine Ross, whose dog made the fateful discovery, later spoke about the moment she realized the bone her pet had found might belong to a human. "I couldn't believe it," she said. "You walk your dog expecting nothing more than a quiet stroll, and suddenly you're at the center of something so horrific." Her discovery set the stage for an investigation that would haunt the city for years. Forensic teams worked tirelessly to recover the remains from the West Mesa burial site. The process was slow, deliberate, and emotionally taxing. Each grave unearthed revealed a story of loss, a life stolen too soon. Investigators marked the locations of the remains with flags, turning the once empty desert into a grim tapestry of tragedy. The painstaking work of identifying the victims brought moments of heartbreak and closure to their families. One mother, upon learning her daughter's remains had been found, described the moment as a mix of relief and sorrow. She added, "At least now we know, but it doesn't make the pain any less." The victims of the West Mesa Murders were not just names on a list. They were individuals with dreams, struggles, and stories. Jamie Barella was described as a kind-hearted teenager who dreamed of becoming a teacher. Her cousin, Evelyn Salazar, a devoted mother, had a passion for music and loved spending time with her family. Michelle Valdez, who was pregnant at the time of her death, was remembered by her father as a fighter who never gave up, even in the toughest of times. These women, like so many others, faced systemic challenges that made them vulnerable. Their stories underscore the importance of addressing the root causes of vulnerability: poverty, addiction, and a lack of support systems. Advances in forensic technology offer a renewed sense of hope in solving the West Mesa case. DNA databases have revolutionized investigations, allowing law enforcement to identify suspects in cases that have remained cold for decades. In recent years, genetic genealogy has been a game changer, using family DNA to trace unknown perpetrators. Imagine the possibility of a breakthrough in this case. A single strand of DNA or a new clue, bringing the mystery closer to resolution. Could technology finally reveal the identity of the West Mesa killer? Investigators believe it's only a matter of time before science provides the answers they seek. Theories about the West Mesa killer's identity remain the subject of intense debate. Some speculate that the perpetrator was a transient individual, perhaps a truck driver, who used his mobility to evade detection. Others argue that the killer must have been local, familiar with the area and its isolation. Among the suspects considered was Lorenzo Montoya, whose violent history and proximity to the burial site raised red flags. However, his death in 2006 has left many unanswered questions. Could Montoya have acted alone, or were others involved? The lack of definitive evidence continues to fuel speculation. For the families of the victims, the pain of the West Mesa murders is an enduring reality. Each year, they gather at the site to honor their loved ones, sharing memories and reflecting on the lives lost. The memorial garden, with its flowers and tributes, has become a place of healing, a space where grief meets resilience. Community leaders and advocates have used the West Mesa case as a catalyst for change, pushing for better protections for vulnerable populations and more resources for women at risk. Their efforts remind us that even in the face of tragedy, progress is possible. The discovery of the West Mesa graves was more than just an investigation. It was a revelation of systemic failures that had allowed so many women to disappear unnoticed. Many of the victims had struggled with addiction or engaged in sex work, making them targets for predators, and tragically, less of a priority for law enforcement at the time. Community leaders, devastated by the discovery, began organizing to address these systemic issues. Advocacy groups pushed for reforms in how missing persons cases were handled, especially for individuals from vulnerable populations. Their voices called for dignity and urgency, ensuring that no woman's disappearance would ever be overlooked again. The International District, once called the War Zone, was central to the West Mesa investigation. This neighborhood, known for its high crime rates, was where many of the victims were last seen. The area's motels, convenience stores, and shadowed alleyways became the backdrop for some of the final moments of these women's lives. Residents of the district described an environment of fear and distrust. "It wasn't safe," one resident recalled. "You never knew who you could trust or what might happen after dark." Despite the challenges, the community rallied together after the discovery, determined to bring attention to the dangers faced by women in the area. Advances in forensic anthropology have also played a crucial role in shedding light on the West Mesa case. By studying the victims' remains, experts were able to piece together not only their identities, but also potential details about how they lived and, tragically, how they died. These findings have provided invaluable insights for detectives, helping them understand the methods and patterns of the killer. Could modern technology finally provide the answers needed to solve this case? With every passing year, the tools available to law enforcement become more advanced. From DNA phenotyping, which can create facial reconstructions from genetic material, to artificial intelligence, capable of analyzing massive data sets, the possibilities are growing. Many believe it's only a matter of time before these innovations bring the truth to light. As the West Mesa case continues to captivate the nation, it has also become a symbol of resilience and advocacy. The families of the victims have transformed their grief into action, speaking out at community events and partnering with organizations to raise awareness about violence against women. Their efforts have inspired others to join the fight for justice, turning personal tragedy into collective hope. The memorial garden at the burial site stands as a testament to this hope. Each plaque, flower, and candle placed there is a reminder that these women are not forgotten. Their names, once whispered only by loved ones, now echo through a community determined to honor their memory. The question of who committed the West Mesa murders remains unanswered, but the investigation is far from over. Detectives continue to revisit the evidence, re-interview witnesses, and explore new leads. Could the killers still be out there, or have they evaded justice for good? The uncertainty keeps the case alive in the public imagination, fueling both speculation and determination. As we reflect on this case, we are reminded of the importance of vigilance, compassion, and persistence in the pursuit of justice. These women deserve better, and their stories must continue to be told until the truth is revealed. The West Mesa murders have become a haunting chapter in Albuquerque's history. This case isn't just about identifying a killer. It's about understanding the conditions that allowed such crimes to occur and ensuring they never happen again. For the families, each unanswered question represents a wound that refuses to heal. For the community, the case is a reminder of the importance of protecting the most vulnerable among us. As the investigation continues, every lead, no matter how small, is pursued with renewed determination. Detectives remain hopeful that modern technology, combined with old-fashioned detective work, will eventually lead to answers. Could a forgotten clue, a new witness, or a technological breakthrough finally solve the West Mesa case? Many believe it's possible. The systemic challenges highlighted by the West Mesa case have prompted significant changes in how missing persons cases are handled. Law enforcement agencies across the country have implemented reforms aimed at ensuring that every disappearance is treated with urgency. These changes, while long overdue, are a testament to the lasting impact of the West Mesa victims' stories. Community organizations have also stepped up, creating programs designed to provide support and resources for at-risk women. These efforts include counseling services, job training programs, and addiction recovery initiatives, all aimed at helping women build safer, more stable lives. The legacy of the West Mesa victims is one of resilience, hope, and the pursuit of justice. The power of storytelling cannot be underestimated when it comes to keeping cases like the West Mesa murders alive in public consciousness. Documentaries, podcasts, and articles have all played a role in keeping the victims' stories at the forefront. Each retelling not only honors the lives lost, but also serves as a call to action, urging communities to stay vigilant and demand accountability. As we reflect on this case, it's clear that the West Mesa murders are about more than just a mystery. They are about the lives of 11 women and one unborn child who deserve more. Their stories remind us of the importance of compassion, advocacy, and persistence in the fight for justice. For those who visit the memorial garden at the West Mesa site, the experience is both somber and inspiring. The plaques bearing the names of the victims are surrounded by flowers, candles, and handwritten notes from loved ones and strangers alike. This space, once a barren desert, has been transformed into a place of remembrance and resilience. It stands as a testament to the strength of a community determined to honor the lives of the women lost. The West Mesa murders may remain unsolved, but the commitment to finding the truth is unwavering. As investigators continue their work, the victims' families and the Albuquerque community remain united in their pursuit of justice. The West Mesa may hold its secrets, but those who seek answers will not stop until they are revealed. Thank you for joining us on this journey into one of the most haunting unsolved cases in modern history. The West Mesa murders serve as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of community in seeking justice. But the questions remain. Who was the West Mesa killer? Could they still be at large? And could modern forensic tools finally unravel this mystery? We'd love to hear your theories. Why do you think these women were targeted? Share your thoughts in the comments below and suggest cases you'd like us to explore in future episodes. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and join us as we uncover more of history's greatest mysteries. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and stay safe.